We'll call the meeting to order. We'll start with the funding applications. We will start with Mitchell Baseball Association tournaments and Nathan Sparks.
Thank you.
You betcha.
I'm Nathan Sparks. I'm the president of the Mitchell Baseball Association. In front of you, we are providing an application for some funding, some assistance, primarily with our state youth tournament that's coming up next weekend. Just this morning, I found out we've got, I think I put in the application maybe 50 teams, but we have 60 teams coming, and a good part of them throughout all of South Dakota. We've got anywhere from Brookings, Pierre, Watertown, Yankton, Sioux Falls, Brandon, Huron, Harrisburg, Spearfish, Rapid City. So they come throughout the state. A good chunk of those, I'd say anybody over that hour and a half, those teams traditionally will stay the evening in Mitchell. This is a Friday, Saturday, and Sunday tournament. Friday, Saturday would be your pool play, and then based on your pool play, those remaining teams from each of the divisions would be playing for a championship team. Little different format this year for the state youth tournament. They will have 3 here in Mitchell. So we have the 9, 11, and 12U here in Mitchell. I believe the 10U is going to be over in T, I think it is, or somewhere over east. Why they're doing that, I don't know. I don't have the history behind that, but they did decide to reformat that a little bit. Also included in this is what we did previously. The May Early Bird Tournament had some teams in town for that tournament, and our Harv Johnston, Brian Wilson tournament as well. So the application would be for $6,000. That $6,000 helps offset our expenses for each of the tournaments. What you see in the estimation and the budget, that is just my math based on the state tournament itself. I did not include the early bird or the Harv Johnston, Brian Wilson in that one for those figures. So we've been doing this for, I guess, as long as I can remember. We've had for the most part, a state youth tournament in town. There might have been maybe a couple of times where we were not awarded that. I know COVID was one of those. They did a lot of that in Sioux Falls and the Harrisburg area, but Mitchell has a wonderful complex with the softball complex in the 8 fields there, and that's what we would be using for the state tournament for the youth this year, July 18, 19, and 20. So.
I guess I have a question with this because I do have a problem with this. My first question is, where are we at with 18 and under in Legion Baseball right now?
Great question, Jason. And certainly we met on June 12th with the South Dakota Legion Athletic Commissioners. They promised that they would give us a written statement, which as of today, I have not received. So the status of it, I wish I knew the answer to that myself, but I don't.
So a line from your email that I want to be public. At this time, please refrain from reaching out to the 3 of us for more detail, connecting the Legion folks or any media outlets. That will not help the situation. That was June 12th. Today we're July 8th, and I finally get an answer. And I'm going to be transparent with you, Nathan, because we're going to go in executive session. And I don't feel it's fair to talk behind your back. I'm going to be upfront with you. I have an issue of giving you $6,000. I'm speaking for myself, when I vote to give money to organizations, I want to know that money is helping every individual or helping the program. And we have kids that haven't had Legion Baseball now for 3 years. And I think the Mitchell Baseball Board has been dragging their feet. I want to know that giving money to an organization, each kid or person has been treated fairly, and I don't feel like the 18U is getting, treated fairly. We've had 13 games this year, 4 to 6 games left, and I'm just going to tell you I can't vote to give Mitchell Baseball any money. So I want you to know that's where I'm at with it. I don't know where the rest of them are at with that, but I want to go on public record saying that because I didn't want to do it when it was an executive session because we're not allowed to talk about it when we go out of executive session. So that's where I'm at.
Nathan, you said you had 60 teams roughly coming?
Correct.
And is there any chance, I know in the past when my son played, the format got switched where they canceled Friday night and they just did Saturday, Sunday. Is there any chance of that?
No.
So,
With 60 teams coming in the eight fields, we will be playing right away.
okay.
8 o'clock Friday morning, 8 o'clock Saturday morning. And then Sunday, I would imagine, might be a little bit later because the pool is reduced at that point.
And you said most of this request was for the state tournament. Can you kind of shed some light on the other two tournaments that you had, how they did, how the participation was? Were you happy with it?
Yeah, early bird we had 30. Give me just a second, I can tell you that. Early bird we had. I don't have the early bird. Harp Johnston, we had 32 teams. It seems to me we had like 22 or 24 teams for the early bird.
No, the early bird this year we had 42
Okay.
because we had more teams for the early bird than we did the Harv Johnson Brian Wilson Invitational. So
And the format of those has
Yeah.
changed substantially because they've gone to a one-day format. So they come in and play Saturday. We've got Sunday for a rain postponement if needed. I can tell you that at the Harp Johnston, I know a team from Custer had played, and I know they stayed. Some other teams, I don't know who else would have been staying on that one, but I do know that one did participate in staying in Mitchell.
Okay. Thank you.
Any other questions for Nathan? Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Next we'll go to men's slow pitch softball and Joe Wenzel.
I'm Joe Wenzel. I'm the area commissioner for USA Slow Pitch Softball for men for Mitchell. I've had that title for 10 years. I run the local league in town also, and I've run that for 7 years. In the 7 years that I've run the men's league in town, we've had 2 previous state tournaments. So this will be our third in 7 seasons of me running the league. And across men's slow pitch softball, it's broken up into 4 different divisions. So this will be the second highest division that'll be playing in town over that weekend. We'll probably have about 10 to 20 teams roughly, and 95% of those teams will be from out of town. I think out of our local league, we will only have 1 team that will play in this tournament. So it's a really good tournament for us to host because we'll get all that outside revenue. In the past few tournaments, we've had 12 to 20. That's why we say shoot for 20 is our high number. It'll be a 2-day tournament. It's double elimination. The money that we're asking for kind of offsets costs for hotel rooms for officials, helping pay for the fields, providing meals for the umpires, things like that. And it's just like, it's a good spot. The USA Softball of South Dakota, the organization, likes to have the tournaments in Mitchell because it's a centrally located spot. Because we get teams from West River, we get the Sioux Falls teams, the interstate travel. We have the hotel rooms. We have the nice complex with all 8 fields right there. A lot of these newer complexes in other towns, they only have 5 fields, not the 8 like we have or that we can host. I think one other benefit too is if our numbers are down and we get rain, we have the fields where we can use them if we have one flooded out, because we've had that this year during league play where we've had to shift stuff around. So it's been a success in the past, and this year I think it'd be a good thing to have here since we don't have the state amateur baseball. So we're out there using the complex in those first couple weeks in August. So I think I'm good if anybody has questions.
So how are the tournaments set up now with the state association in softball? When the tournament's here, do they get the team registration money, the state? And do
Yep.
they get the gate, or don't they even charge
There's
the gate
no,
anymore?
there's no gate charge.
And T-shirt sales, they get that too?
Men's league doesn't do T-shirts.
Okay, so basically, you don't have any source of income to offset your expenses, is what you're
No,
saying.
we don't as a league. No.
Yeah, and that's the way softball tournaments are always set up around the state now?
Yeah. Yep. Because like for us as a league, we can't pay. That's why I'm asking for the money, because we wouldn't get any revenue back. Like, because the city runs the concession stands, we pay the city for the fields. We as a league don't generate any revenue off of it.
So you pay the expense to rent the fields.
Yeah.
So
Dump
Mitchell
stick over.
softball. Who pays for the
I mean-
umpires? Do they at least pay for the umpires?
The state pays for the
Okay.
umpires.
State
yes.
pays for the umpires, but you have to pay for their lodging, or,
No,
okay.
we're not paying for the lodging. No.
You pay umpires for meal, you give umpires meals, but
Yeah, I'm gonna talk with a couple businesses, like Mitchell Locker, maybe see if we can get them to donate brats to do like a Saturday lunch for the umpires or something of that nature.
you know, thank you for doing this, because I mean, most things have a source of income to offset the expenses, like a youth baseball tournament, like we have. You know, we get the gate and stuff like that. So,
Yeah,
but you don't get any of that, and your association doesn't make any money on this event. So you're doing this for the benefit of Mitchell,
yes,
and you
yeah.
guys are on the line for money. And so the state association is now saying you guys are on your own. The city's got to pay for everything.
Yeah, the state association basically is, they get all the revenue from
Yeah.
it too, and then so we don't make anything. You know, like if we were making something, if we ran the concession stands or we charged a gate or something like that, then I wouldn't need to ask for money to have it. So,
What would they do if you charge a gate? Would they?
That's what I was gonna ask.
I think everybody pay $5
never
to get it.
asked, because like in the last, I've been playing softball since I was 14 years old. I think I've been playing in Mitchell for the last 25 years, and I don't remember them charging a gate at a men's tournament since I was a teenager.
But they charge a fee per team to come to the
Yes.
event, and they don't have any expenses. Well, they have to pay for the umpires.
Yeah, they're
So,
paying
okay,
for the
all right,
umpires, and they're paying for their lodging too.
Okay.
So,
Did you break down your expenses for us as far as what you think it's going to cost you for what the field maintenance is from the city and stuff like that?
I
Do we
think-
know those figures?
I think two years ago when we did it, we paid $400 per employee that the state or the city had. Excuse me. So I think we paid $800 for the two guys. That
Did
had
you
it.
lose money on the thing too the last time?
Us as a league, a
Yeah.
city league? Yeah, because we didn't generate any revenue. The league paid for the field prep and all that.
Right.
I used to be in your position a long time ago, and just giving you a heads up. First of all, it is a pain in the butt because you don't get anything, and I sympathize for you a lot. And I don't know if things have changed, but back then I was talking to Dave earlier. If you were able to sell beer, you might get a little income on that.
Yeah.
So that might be something you want to look at. Maybe you already have, but I just wanted to let you know that because you will make some money off that. So.
We kind of went through the same thing with the women's because they're in the same boat
Yeah.
as you are. And we've talked about that admission thing. And they basically told us that if they charge admission, Mitch will probably never get a tournament back again. But
Yeah.
I just wonder if when other teams come in, if the cities talk amongst each other. I mean, even if you charge $5 for all weekend or something, and
Yeah.
kids free,
Yeah.
just to have some source of income, it just boggles my mind.
Well,
But-
and I've talked to a lot of associations across the state since I run ours too, and it's all different wherever you're at. You know what I'm saying? Like Spearfish, for example, they run their concession stands, so they
No.
get all the revenue off of that.
Okay.
Or like let's just say Pier, for example, they don't pay for lights or they don't pay for field prep. So then it kind of, when people are like, well, it seems like our league fees are so much. Well, it's because our expenses for league are what they are. The guy that runs Spearfish goes, "Man, we had to raise our league fees to $600," and I like chuckled because ours are way more than that. But it's our expenses versus what they pay. So
Any more questions for Joe? Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
thanks for the time. Thank you.
Next, we'll go to Palace City Kiwanis Half Marathon, and we'll have Crystal.
Hello, all. I'm Crystal Frund. I'm on the board of the Kiwanis Club and also one of the organizational members of the Palace City Kiwanis Half Marathon, 10K and 5K. As you can see by my shirt, we run for the kids. That's the whole point of us doing this run. The Palace City Kiwanis Half keeps growing and going. This is our 8th annual this year. I brought along the medal and the shirt to show you, so I'll just pass that around so you can take a look at it. We're having an 80s theme this year for the 8th annual, so we're looking forward to a lot of net and hairspray. Last year, we actually started a kids run. That's something that we've wanted to do for a while. That brings in people the night before, so their kids run a mile down Main Street. We did that, like I said, for the first time last year. We had about 20 kids and about 15 adults that took their time and walked/ran down Main Street. Cheer Bear was there included. And that helps. We've had a lot of feedback on that, how it helps the parents kind of bring their kids into it. Next generation of runners for this event, and just brings the community together too to cheer them on. There was a lot of people standing out there, so that was kind of fun. As of our last meeting, we are over 50% higher in our participation than we were at this time last year, so we're looking forward to even more growth on that. 41% of the people that ran in our race came from over 50 miles away, and 21% were over 100. So we're looking forward to those numbers expanding. One of my personal goals, as I shared last year, is I would love to see somebody represented from every state. It's just something that I have as a personal goal for it in my job as the marketing person. Speaking of, we've increased our marketing in collaboration with other organizations as well. I actually have on my calendar to meet with Dave with the Corn Palace after the pre-Sturgis event, because he's got his hands full right now. We also have new photo ops. We're putting in big letters in front of the Corn Palace so that we can get more pictures, get more media buzz going about that. And we're having those built locally here at your shop. So bringing in more community members as well. And that's why we've asked for the same amount as last year, to continue to promote not only our event, but the city of Mitchell, cover overhead costs that make this bucket list race something that people are willing to travel for. We know that our community depends on the kids, which is why Kiwanis does what it does. All of the proceeds that come from this event that we raise from run fees and anything else that's left over goes back into those kids programs within the city of Mitchell and beyond. So we appreciate your continued support. Any questions for me?
I have a couple questions.
Please.
Any idea, we're all about heads and beds.
Sure.
Any idea how many might stay over?
Well, based on the 40% from last year and the 21 over 100 miles, I would say that that's looking probably, just look at Julie, 50-ish, I would say. A good range. Obviously, that's going to increase as the race grows. And that's obviously my goal for this year, is to make it bigger and better and get them from further away. So
when they do register,
Mhm.
they fill out a paper app or an online app.
yes.
Is there a way that you could have a portion of the registration that says staying in a motel, staying out of town, not staying other, staying with a friend, whatever?
Like when they sign up, you mean?
Yeah, just so that we could get an idea.
That's a great question. I will look into it.
You could put that on your application.
Certainly. Yeah, absolutely. Mm-hmm. Anyone else?
Any other questions?
Pick your mojo.
All right, thanks, Crystal.
Thank you.
Next, we'll do the Palace City 8-ball with Corey Ditter and Jen Raymond.
Good afternoon. Thanks for having us. You do have a sheet in front of you outside of what's up on your screen. So it's this one. My name's Jen Raymond. This is Corey Ditter. We're here requesting a $5,000 grant to host our pool tournament, the Palace City 8-Ball Open. This is going to be held at the Highland Conference Center this year, November 14th through the 16th. We held this event for the first time 2 years ago. We held this event in town at a couple of local bars on Main Street. At that time, we had no expenses. We paid out over $16,000 in player entry winnings, and this was a very prestigious event. We were able to pay out these large prize pools. It brings to the city of Mitchell some competitive players from outside of South Dakota. We actually had participants from Minnesota, Nebraska, Iowa, North Dakota, Wyoming, and all across South Dakota. We're requesting $5,000 this year because now we are going to have a venue rental at the Highland Conference Center. We also have pool table rentals. We are doing that through D&E. Good news is they're local businesses, so we are utilizing their services. We need your support to help us put on this professional event. We really need to keep these player pool prize entries high, the payouts high, and keep the expenses off of our list. We do not have any income ourselves. You can look at your sheet under the financial overview. You can see our expenses listed. The only income that we get are the player green fees. This is from their registration. We tack on a little bit of money to help offset some expenses. So this is where we're asking for the $5,000. Any additional surplus will be reinvested into the player prize payouts. 2 years ago, we had about 70% of the player field come from outside of Mitchell. We hope that this year that will sustain and that we will have about 60 players from outside of Mitchell. The event has been structured to guarantee a Friday and a Saturday night, a Friday and a Saturday play, which would be a single, at least one night stay. This helps to boost our hotels, restaurants, and our local businesses. We will be distributing flyers throughout all of those regions that I mentioned earlier. We have social media posts on all of our pool player communities, and we have already talked about this event at other tournaments, and therefore have already gained a lot of interest. We really need your support to help expand this tournament. This year, like I said, marks a really major step forward with the Highland Conference Center being our venue. 1 year, we hope to expand to the Corn Palace. We want to make Mitchell a destination for this type of event. Thank you, and if you have any questions, please let us know.
If you got a goal for a number of players this year, I see you had
Yes.
60.
88 players is our goal, which is the whole tournament between the various levels that we will be participating.
Okay.
What was the date again? 14, 15?
11, 14 through the 16.
14 through 16. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other questions? Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Next, we'll go to the approval of the minutes from our June 10th meeting.
I'll approve.
Got a motion by Brian, second by Jocko, or Jim Johnson, I guess is his real name. I call him Jocko. But all in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Against, nay. Motion pass. Financial report.
These were Sports and Events Authority financials. This was year to date, July 3rd, 2025. I have them on the screen, and then it's also included in your packet. The revenue change, the Bid 4 board did approve to supplement the remaining 2024 Sports and Events Authority.
Can you blow that up a little bit?
Yeah.
Thank you.
So the Bid 4 board approved to supplement the remaining 2024 balance of the Sports and Events Authority, which was $44,640. That was supplemented to the 2025 revenue. So that's why you see the $194,640. The current expenses, all the awarded events, the checks have been written, and that is $79,950. That leaves the Sports and Events Authority Committee with a current available fund balance of $114,690. Our year-to-date collections, this would have been submitted in May. For April records, we're still working with the establishment to collect one past due. And then our collections that were submitted in June for the month of May, $22,522. And we're working with 3 establishments to submit those collections as well. So that gives year-to-date through June of $113,871 of the $2 per room per night collection, and that equates to 56,936 room nights. And our year-to-date comparison chart, 2024 down 5.3%, which is 3,003 room nights. 2023 down 1.1%, 616 room nights. 2022, down 4.4%, 2,478 room nights. 2021, up 6.3%. 2020, up 26.2%. And 2019, up 6.6%. And just a final note, just based on the last 2 years average of room nights, not total collections. This would bring us, once we get to 3, this again is an average of the last 2 years, it would bring us right around the 29,500 to 30,000, based on, again, the averages of the last 2 years.
Special Olympics was taken out of that money too.
For 2025, it had been, the check has been cut for them. Yep. And then that's where this 2026 and 2027 awarded basketball. So each fiscal year, that $12,000 will come out for that Special Olympics basketball.
Aaron, do you know where we're at with rooms in town since we lost the Ramada, we lost the Corn Palace Inn, we're gonna lose Coach Light. Coach Light doesn't fly, okay? Where are we at for total rooms?
Total rooms 895. 826 within the bid for district.
What was our high 3 years ago when the Ramada was still open? Any idea?
I think it was a little over 1,000 when I first
Over
started.
1,000?
A little over 1,000, I believe.
So basically, we're down like 120 rooms. Fair figure.
I want to push it a little higher than that because I think the Ramada was maybe 112.
100.
I thought one time we had 1,300 rooms total.
Corn Palace was so-called 75.
Only building structures we've had so far in the last 10 years is My Place, as far as rooms.
And they have 85.
63.
63.
Aaron, did you say in the bid was 830 some rooms?
826
Okay.
for the $2 collection.
Okay.
That's in the bid.
In the bid.
That's the bid for district,
So
which doesn't include Coach Light, Siesta, and budget.
there's another 60 rooms there.
Total hotel rooms that I have, just total for Mitchell that I get from my STR reports, shows 1,015.
And that's
Yeah, that's at all the hotels.
so I guess that 1,015 is, I think, on the higher end.
Yeah, that's just what I'm getting from the STR report, so I don't know when they recheck that, but the My Place, Ramada's taken out of that, and My Place is updated in there, so it should be pretty reasonable.
Okay, do we have a motion on the financial report, or we still want any more discussion?
Second.
Motion by Jason, second by Tim. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Against nay. Motion passes. We'll go over evaluation forms, financials, and surveys.
So we had Jason was the motion and then second was Tim. All right, thank you. Okay, 3 evaluation forms submitted. First one was for the 4th Annual Combat Veterans Motorcycle Association Comedy Night, March 22nd, 2025. Event was a 4 above expectations, total attendance 150. They came from Sioux Falls, Huron, Rapid City, Mitchell, Ethan, Alexandria, Chamberlain, and Kimball. They estimated 15 room nights. They're unsure of next year's location and date. The SEA awarded $1,500 that helped pay for venue and advertising, and their profit loss total after deductions was $4,065.08. That was support helping with horsepower and other local veterans in need. We had the 15th round boxing amateur boxing night. That was April 19th, 2025. Event was rated a 3, met expectations. SEA helped tremendously, great attendance. This was a breakdown of specific attendance, 462 in the audience, 103 staff, officials, and boxers for 567. Attendees, boxers from Mitchell, Sioux Falls, Chicago, Denver, Iowa, Aberdeen, Brookings, Mount Vernon, Yankton, and many others. They estimated 40 to 60 room nights. Unsure about the date and location for next year. SEA awarded $1,500, used towards hotels and any profit towards future events. There was just a revenue statement provided here as far as ticket sales for the event. And the last one, Blarney's Baseball Classic, the first year for this, June 14th, above expectations, 800 spectators, 130 participants, which I believe it was 6 games, so 12 teams. Unsure about those that stayed overnight or for room nights. Unsure on next year's event location and date. SEA awarded $2,500, used to pay expenses, and the profit loss was provided. Profit of $2,420.53 towards DW Team Makers scholarships.
Can I comment?
You sure can.
Thank you. I thought it went real well. At the time I sent this in, we did not have our meeting. First of all, thank you for giving us seed money to start it. Next year's event looks like this. Friday, we're going to do 2 games. Saturday, we're going to do 3 or 4 games. We're still trying to work that out. We want to have a home run contest out of Cadwell. We're going to let them use aluminum bats for that. Then after that, we were looking at having a parking lot dance, bringing in a person to bringing in a band. I'm not real good with music, so whatever you call that. It would be like a street dance in the parking lot afterwards. So that's kind of what the event's going to look like next year. But really well received. Having the Harv Sports Shop, Harv's Brian Wilson tournament next to it was really good too. We had a lot of people coming over there, so we decided we got a committee together just for that. That's going to do some stuff for our youth with bringing like a pitching machine in, bringing in different things for just that green space there along right field line. So, but no, it's the committee thanks you. I thank you for letting us get that started.
That was a great idea to let people from the youth tournament in over here free, because I know there were some peer dads that all went over and bought beer because you can't buy beer to youth baseball tournament. Sat up in front of the press box in the shade and for 2 hours in between games. So that was a great idea on your part.
And I think one other event you might try and do is like a pitching machine for the youth kids to see how fast they can throw a ball. Radar. Yeah. Well, we'll have to dads do it too.
After they've had beers.
Yeah.
Yeah, after they've sold.
I have an appetite for you, so.
Tommy John surgery lined up.
Okay, we'll go to
To the other items.
Yep, just keep moving along. This will be a more brief, play easy update here. Just want to update organizations within the platform. We're up to now 755 organizations that are able to look for destinations to host their events and submit RFPs. There are 329 destinations, us included, that have access to these event organizers and RFPs when they're submitted. The total platform has 157. That number is down just because some of them RFPs have closed, reached their deadline to submit applications for them. Couple recent ones. I know I went through it real quickly in the Bid 4 meeting a couple weeks ago. We did have a couple 7v7 football. This is what the Legends Legacy is, which was kind of ironic. Bid 4, we talked about 7v7 football. That same day or day after, 7v7 football RFPs were submitted. And then this National Tennis On-Campus Championships, that does not fit Mitchell's criteria. They're looking for, it's a national tournament, they're looking for 32 tennis courts.
Just a little short. We won't be pursuing this.
Okay, I figured I want to ask. Let's see. So I did mention 7v7 football. I did reach out to Sean Davis. He's kind of the local organizer for youth football and that 7v7 football. Talked with him briefly last week before the holiday. I'm going to meet with him Thursday just to see. It sounds like he has connections throughout Mitchell, Sioux Falls, some local associations in Nebraska, Iowa, and North Dakota to maybe try to coordinate a more local 7v7 event to get a couple under our belt before we reach out to these national or regional 7v7 camps that they have. So a little update there. Nobody has, or there hasn't been any hotel bookings through this. Again, I guess I preach or share each meeting. You know, the platform has been very educational. It has helped create conversations with our local organizations just based on the information that we've seen here to try to pursue some more local events first to see if those can be hosted successfully before we start reaching out again. These regional, national events, as you see in our back end of our platform, 183 have been matched for our destination. But as I share each meeting, venue space, hotel numbers, again, being a regional and national events, they look for more than we can offer at this point. But we'll keep this option open. And I've also shared in previous meetings that 5v5 soccer, Scott Mullenmeister and I will reconnect this winter and connect with 5v5 soccer and see if we can't make something happen next year for that. So I guess that's really, again, just eliminated some of the numbers this time around, but again, just wanted to share a few new things and kind of the direction and progress that we're making with this. Upcoming events, those bolded are events that received Sports and Events Authority funding. So starting tomorrow through Sunday, Mitchell Gun Club, the South Dakota Amateur Trap Shooting Association, the State Trap Shoot Tournament. And then starting on Sunday, we got the South Dakota Golf Association Adult Junior Championship. at Lakeview Municipal Golf Course, followed by the 21st through the 23rd, the Junior Championship. July 25th through the 27th, Hitchcock Park, Arts in the Park. July 26th and 27th, the USA South Dakota Women's State Slow Pitch Softball Tournament. Currently, they do have 16 teams signed up. I've been tracking that on their website. Potential for 96, but they got 16 currently. And just a poster was provided the end of July here. The annual Palace City Pre-Sturgis Party, July 31st, 5 to 10 p.m. down on Mitchell's Main Street. Dave, if you wanted to share your Corn Palace Festival.
Yeah, we obviously are guns blazing for festival. Oops. And we've got Justin Moore coming on August 21st, which is a Thursday night. Micah Tyler, top 25 Christian artist. He'll be headlining Friday night, and then Brett Michaels on Saturday the 23rd. Along with the carnival and games and some free stage entertainment out in the plaza. I've got a few posters if people want to take it back to their perspective. They're going to be up where they were a year ago. We couldn't guarantee streets being totally done and finished with the repair projects on Main.
So is there any talk about moving it back to where it used to be?
Yes, there is. And
Is there a movement for that? To get them back now?
There's been quite a few discussions about it. Two camps, one games back to back and one games facing each other, and with the new streetscape, just making sure we've got enough room and the opportunity to do it so that the discussion isn't dead by any stretch of the imagination, but it's currently this year because we weren't able to guarantee that the street would be open. Kind of died for lack of a second, and then the plan was to continue with Gold Star up on the places that they were last year and try to continue to improve how the layout is and getting people in and out of those spaces.
I know you don't have anything to do with it. One of the burrs up my butt has been, we can't get the Corn Palace decorated in time for the festival. And I mean, I grew up in this town. The festival was always in September. They did it with scaffolding, hammers, and nails, and they always got the corn on and everything done by Corn Palace Week. And it seems like we milk this thing year round and nothing ever gets done. And
I tell people
not here, but I'd love to tell them.
I tell people that and they don't believe me it was done in September.
Oh, always.
Every year it's done with scaffolding, manual labor.
I mean, the scaffolding basically went all the way around. I mean, there were guys up there.
But that's.
Why has that changed, or any idea why that's changed? I know you've only been there. Nobody's putting any blame here. But I mean, is there a reason? I wonder why it has changed. That it seems like a year-round thing rather than getting it done.
Yeah, I think we're taking what we have for our field contracts and for those other things and putting them up as quick as we can get them. We don't hold over grain as an example, so we've got to wait for fresh grain, the rye, the corn. My understanding is that there's been in the past some spoilage and some things like that. So as everybody's budgets got tighter, I think they tried harder not to have that excess that if it wasn't properly stored, taken care of, those types of things. I know even as we get long into the season, we lose our summer help, and we're down to 3 or 4 people going on. Those, we were soaking ears of corn in order to make it pliable enough to hang and put on the building. So we're trying to address that now. We've got we're looking at finishing up so that maybe we'll get some help in the fall, and our goal this year is to be done in November.
As an added note, it will be a little bit different this year. They're planning on putting out a request for proposals to have an outside organization come in and do the murals this year. So hoping that process would be much faster.
The manual part of it or the design?
The manual part of it, hanging the corn.
They used to pick the corn when it was dry, when it was wet, and now they pick it when it's dry and then they're wet. I mean, it makes no sense. But Maybe we should go to executive session.
I could just highlight just real quick. Again, a lot of events going on. Mitchell Chamber events calendar. And then also we have the Mitchell, South Dakota events Facebook page. So the platform here, it automatically publishes to this Facebook page events added to Sports and Events Authority, special event permits, when they're added to the Mitchell Chamber events calendar, when they're added to the Corn Palace calendar. And then they also have information to email me as well if they have flyers or additional information on events that they want to post as well.
Now you ready for executive session? Yeah, we need a motion to go into executive session. Motion by Brian.
Sorry.
Who's that? Dave. Second by Dave. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Against nay. We'll go into executive session. Very smart. We're back in camera.
Mics are real hot.
There
I'll
are.
probably abstain from that.
Okay.
So somebody else.
Okay.
Can I abstain?
Are we back on?
Yep.
Okay. First one we'll go to is the South Dakota Sodak 16 basketball game.
Make a motion that we do not give them the grant request.
Got a motion by Brian,
I would second.
second by Dave to deny it. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
All right.
I'll abstain.
Dave will abstain. Against, nay. Motion passes for 0. Mitchell Baseball Association Early Bird Tournament State Youth and Harv Johnson.
I would make a motion for funding of $3,000.
I will second that.
Motion by Tim, second by Kevin. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Against, nay.
Abstain.
Nay.
And Jim will abstain. And 1 nay. Jason. Next, Mitchell's men's slow pitch softball state tournament for 2,000.
Make a motion to approve 2,000.
I would second.
Motion by Jim, second by Tim. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Against, nay. Motion passes for 2. Palace Kiwanis half marathon.
I would make a motion for $750.
I'll second that.
Dave has a motion for 750 and Marie seconds it. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Against, nay. 750 passes. Palace City 8-ball open tournament.
Make a motion for the 4,000 to be granted for the tournament. First
Brian makes a motion for 4,000.
I'll second.
Second by Emily. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Against, nay.
Nay.
Who's nay?
Dave.
Dave's nay. Okay.
I need a nay also.
2 nays. So we have 1, 2. We should have enough. The motion passes for 4,000. We're adjourned until the next meeting, which is when is that? August 12th.
And if you want to pass on to the board that I don't have a motel anymore.
Oh,
So I'll be back in
Brian.